Yes, indeed.
Hey guys, it's Monday the 21st of January 2017. Just bought weed stock at 56.61. Um, what are you looking at right now? All right, so you're looking over here. So this is weed stock here. And if I can zoom in, this was the dip. I bought it at 56.61. It's basically right here. And it's up to 56.88 at this moment. I've already increased my stop market to 56.74, so that would lock in 13-cent move, and I have a sell at 56.99. So it's bouncing around between 56.85. There's a big purchase at 56.80, which adds a little bit of a buffer. And then there's a big sell at 56.91. So we'll see if it breaks through. But that's where we're at right now. I've been watching it since about noon. And this big sell again. Got in a pretty good spot, 56.61 here. I'm going to move my stop up again to 56.79. Maybe 56.78. Okay, so I move my stop to 56.78. I'm pushing 56.80, so there, just stopped out. So we dipped down to 56.75. So I will have filled that. Yeah. There we go. So trade complete. Let's just look at the numbers. So my average fill there on the stop market was 56.734. So let's throw this in there. Uh, 56.61. 56.734. So $186 profit there. Hey, just a follow up to the trade I did yesterday. It's now the morning after, and I thought I'd do a quick review of this trade because while it was a winning trade, I thought there was some room for improvement on it, clearly. So if you bear with me, this is the entire day of the stock I traded, weed stock. And my entry point was fantastic. My first line is my entry point, the 56.64, I believe. So basically within a few pennies of the low of the day for the stock. And the stock moved up, and I moved my stop loss to break even, and then I moved it up 2 different times, and then got stopped out right at this point here at 56.74, I believe. And then obviously because it was a stop loss, it didn't fill. Like I lost 3 or 4 or 5 cents on the fill. So I ended up making just a few $100s on this trade. And then obviously I try and avoid sort of being a Monday morning quarterback and looking and being like, oh, I should have held it for another to exactly this point, and then I would have made maximum money and that sort of thing. Because obviously when you're day trading, you're not looking for the full movement of every stock every time. But what I'd like to try and avoid in this situation is the every little blip, avoiding getting stopped out every little blip, because as you can see in this example, the weed stock moved from, my entry point of 56.60, let's say, it moved up to 57.7, almost 57.80, about 57.75 before it pulled down to 57, never retraced below 57, and then finished at about 57.40. So I mean, in just about every conceivable scenario, had I just, kept my stop loss at break even and then sold at end of day, I would have been looking at 80-cent per share profit, which would have been about $1,200, let's say. And then if I say trailed my stop loss by 25 cents, I don't think there was a time until here where I would have got stopped out. So I would have pulled from, say, 57.75, and then right here 57.35. So definitely at a 25-cent stop loss trailing stop loss would have stopped me out. But none of these small movement down like this. See if I can add a line. So sort of when this happened initially, this line had stopped me out, but then sort of this movement could have also stopped me out, and then this guy could have stopped me out. So each way through the upswing, there's these smaller, it looks like about 20-cent downswings. 20 cent, 20 cent, 20 cent, 20 cent. This looks about 20 cent as well. And then this is the bigger one. So this one here would have been the significant downswing after hitting the peak. So 75 down to, we'll say 30. So that's 45 cents. So that would have been a one. Ultimately, that would have been the big stop out. So likely right here would have been my stop out point, assuming that I had a higher stop, and that would be riding the up wave. So I don't know the exact answer. It's not absolute science. You can never get in at the low point and get out the high point, but I still certainly think that this trade was good enough. My entry point was good enough that I should have made, if I were smarter, or not smarter, it's a bad word, if I thought about this a little deeper and wasn't concerned about locking in profit, then I likely could have increased. This would have been a good opportunity for me to have a higher risk to a greater reward. Yeah, so basically I think my mistake was making my stop loss too tight. I think I brought it up too many times. If I had left it at break even, I wouldn't have even been close to filling on my stop loss. And then maybe look at a 25 to 30 cent trailer. Makes more sense in a market like this, in a movement like this, as opposed to what I was having it, which was about a 10 or a 12 cent trailer that I was just manually doing. So anyway, I hope you appreciate this review, and if you have any questions or comments or suggestions for me, because I'd love to hear this scenario, making a 10-cent move win on a stock where you entered at almost the best time of the day and it moved up well over $1 from your entry point. I'd like to do better, basically. I'd like to keep my winning within this range here. This looks like a pretty good upswing that I was not a part of. So anyway, thank you for watching the review, and I will talk soon.
Yes, indeed.